All right, good afternoon, everybody. My name's Eric Barland. I'm with Titos Handmade Vodka. This is Titos Handmade Vodka 101. Haven't spoken to a room this large in a while. I've been with the company 9 years. It's a real honor to be up here with AMA for you guys. I can remember when I first started, I was peddling like 2 bottles of Titos, and people were like, what is that? That crazy guy Tito, he's making this Texas vodka. What are you doing? And now I get to speak in front of you guys. So it's a real honor to be here. When I started with him 9 years ago, I had worked on the distributor side of the business for Rocky Wirtz, which is now Breakthrough here in Wisconsin, which is one of the hottest distributors we have in the country. And then I went to work for Kettle One for a little bit. I was with Jimmy Buffett for a little bit. Then I had a startup company, and the guy didn't raise enough money, so I was doing really well with it, but I was kind of going broke. And I got to meet Tito after a funeral, and we were kind of splitting a bottle of Tito's. We were having a good time together. And I said, I'm not looking for a job here. I said, I'm looking for one good career move. And he looked at me and he said, Eric, I did my research on you. You need a freaking job. So that was 9 years ago. We've come a long way since then. I kind of wanted to get a sense of where you guys are with the brand. Who here has heard of Tito's before? Okay, we're doing a good job there. Okay, who here has consumed Tito's before? Doing a good job there. Who had a Tito's last night? Those are my star pupils in the back. There we go. I love you guys. But when Kelsey called me, she wanted to do a presentation on experiential marketing. I kind of had to look it up to really see what that meant. But really it is, how do we want people to experience us? You're talking to a guy who's been in the business 30 years. Apps to me are something that you order before dinner, okay, to stay full. So there's a lot of different ways, why do people care about Tito's? How do we engage them? And how do we create trial? That's really what we're all about, because when I tell you guys the story of the brand and you see how it's made and you see what he's done with the brand, you're going to understand that we really want people to taste that product, because then they're going to keep coming back to it. So we're always about trial. We want people drinking our brand and trying it out. So there's Tito, there's my boss. A lot of people are like, is he a real guy? His last name is Beveridge. It's a Scottish name. So I can remember when I interviewed him, and he's like, I wanted to name my son Cold, but my wife wouldn't let me do it. And I was like, wow, so it's a real name. Really lucky to be in the beverage industry and have the last name Beveridge. The distillery is actually 20 years old. We just celebrated our 20-year anniversary here this past year. Did a lot of hometown shindigs, a lot of events around it. But he is a real guy. I think that's one of the things that we probably have an advantage on versus people. It's kind of like Kentucky Fried Chicken has their Colonel Sanders. We have Tito. And not a lot of people can match that. He's a heck of a guy, tells a hell of a story, makes a hell of a vodka. He was a geophysicist by trade, and he really liked seeing what was going on in the handcrafted world of spirits. But he also had a lot of other failed businesses. He was a mortgage broker, and the rates went up. He had a oil company that was named Uno Oil because he was the only employee. He tried to go out and raise like $20 million for this brand, and no one would give him a nickel. So he wound up maxing out like 19 credit cards to start the still in a little distillery right outside of Austin, Texas. So I think a lot of you guys in the room are very entrepreneurial in spirit. This is truly a American success story with a real guy. Not a lot of people can say that. Doesn't matter what their brand is, what's in the bottle, they don't have that story. He slept next to his dog to keep it running. He was out there in 100-degree heat. If you go online and you go and look at our website, you can see the old videos of him hand labeling, hand bottling everything. At first, he just wanted to start and be able to make enough money just to pay his rent, basically. So it was a very tough business initially. So we're considered a super premium, handmade American vodka. And again, I had said everything revolves around trial. So we have the Titos Taster Program. If you go online, we're not going to bombard you with a bunch of different social media, not too much of that, but we will have like a taster program where you'll get a belt buckle in the mail once a year and things like that. Really, we try to engage our fans quite a bit. I think the fact that it's made in the USA certified, it's gluten-free, It's got a nice price point out there. People just gravitate this brand, the fact that it's copper pot stilled, and that's a very expensive process to do. I'm not going to get into the distilling process, but basically what I get back from people is it's got a really nice clean buzz, and the next day you can go to work or school or whatever you're doing in your life. And that's a plus when you're drinking, because I know you college kids drink a little bit. So we do a lot of different things to get people engaged in our brand. One of the programs I started probably 7 years ago was the Titos Airstream program, where basically we take this Airstream on the road. It could be at a Lollapalooza festival, it could be at Country Thunder, it could be at a Wisconsin tailgate football game, but basically we're getting people there. We want to give them a bandana. We want to get them to try the brand. We want them to feel good about that Titos experience, and then for us to be able to tell the story a little bit, maybe in the 30-second version, while they're there having a good time. So we've really taken this. We have a full-time driver that goes across my entire region, and we book them for football games, charity events, anything we can do, and it's been really successful. We do a lot with philanthropy. This is something that is really passionate with Tito. I'm going to show you guys a video that kind of gives you a sense for who he is. You know, it's one thing for me to talk, but for you guys to see him up on the screen and get a sense of him as a man. When I say the good swag, anything that you buy off of our website, all the proceeds from any swag that you buy goes directly to our 5 charity partners. And you guys are able to pick whether you want to donate to the Red Cross, to Emancipet, the Elizabeth Taylor AIDS Foundation, Operation Homefront, or CORE, which is children of restaurant employees across the country. So there's a lot of different ways that we donate. I'll show you guys a few of the local events and things that we've done as well. So do I just click on this now? All right, so I'm going to show you guys this real quick.
In the beginning, I was pouring from a couple of half gallons at a party in a friend's kitchen, and the person I was making a drink was saying, "Hey, so do you do this all the time?" And I'm like, "Well, you know, I'm kind of like self-promoting. I'm a one-man show, and you can get it out down at this liquor store over here." And they're like, "No, I mean, do you do parties and stuff?" And I'm like, "Well, I mean, I kind of just show up and have some vodka in the car, and next thing you know, I'm tending bar." And, "Well, would you do it at my charity event?" And it was called Project Transitions, and it was a AIDS charity, and this was back in '97 or something like that. And I said, "Sure, I'll do it. When?" So I showed up at that one, and everybody was so thankful. I mean, everybody's hugging me and crying and saying, I really, made the party, and we auctioned off some vodka, and we raised a bunch of money. And it's just really moving. And I started doing these events, and everybody's just so emotional at these things and just so appreciative and thankful and everything. And so we just kind of kept doing it. And then it got to where I eventually had some employees, and they were going, "Well, you got to decide what charities you want to do. What means something to you?" And I thought about it, and I just decided, let's just do all of them. And so it appears that we do. We just do all of them. So that's kind of how we got to be a philanthropic company that also sells vodka. There's not a lot of rhyme and reason, I don't think, to kind of how we do things. I always say just, do things that mean something to you, something that you're involved with or excited about. And we're always happy to help out, no matter what it is. Purpose and meaning is a big piece of it. And kind of once you have your normal daily expenses paid, you kind of reach a point where you start hitting a wall on how happy you can be. And the more you give, the more you get kind of deal. What goes around comes around, and if you give your people resources, they're able to go out and say thanks to their communities. And by doing that, they get thanked by their communities. I think that it gives people meaning, and it's great to wake up every morning and your purpose is to sell Titos handmade vodka. We all like that. Well, this year, once again, are all over the map. We've had floods all over the United States that we've helped out with. There are the shootings in Orlando that we raised $600 grand or something. Of course, we always have the dog thing going on. We helped an entire tribe in Kenya, a nomadic tribe that a doctor, a friend of ours, was going to take suitcases full of Zithromax there. And they have this debilitating eye disease that causes blindness. But if you get 3 half doses of Zithromax, it cures it. And so we financed that to go do the first dose over there for hundreds of people. So it's all over the map, really everywhere possible. I think that we're doing a good job of, just trying to give back. And, I love to say the cliche, make the world a better place,
So this is some of the charity events that we do, and these are some of the programs that you'll see nationally. This was something that actually came from our CFO, Brian Plater, who lived with Tito back in the high school days and in the college days when he was a little bit broke. But he was like, everybody loves dogs. We should do something for dogs. So we came up with this whole program with Emancipet. And what had happened was, out by the still, a lot of the rescue dogs would just gravitate. I don't know how they got there. We'd have dozens of dogs just show up. So we'd find them shelters, find them homes, take them in. And then this whole program came to bear off of one good idea. So this is our Vodka for Dog People program. You can buy the bottle, then we'll give $1 back to the charity, to Vodka for Dog People, to a national program, Emancipet. And we have all kinds of point of sale, that ties into that. We do Pause for a Cause locally here in Illinois, Wisconsin, and multiple different states where we have a company that represents us, and they go out and they do 5K walks. You can see that's me and Carrie right there with our little dog Lexi. I walked the 5K, just so you can see how big the suit is. But to be able to benefit a lot of these local charities, the Pause for a Cause and the Vodka for Dog People has been great. And then just all kinds of point of sale that is tied around Yappy Hour, dog-friendly bars and restaurants. And it's just been great because, I can remember standing in the store and I was building a big display and it was for Vodka for Dog People, and the Bacardi guy came up to me and he's like, "Vodka for Dog People." He goes, "You guys can't screw anything up, can you?" And I was like, when your competition says that, you're doing something right. So I think this is another video. I want to give you guys a sense of this program.
I'm Tito Beverage, founder and master distiller at Tito's Handmade Vodka. Yes, I know. So Vodka for Dog People is a program to raise money for humane societies and underfinanced communities to spay and neuter programs. And then we do fundraisers to go and help dogs all around the place, because who doesn't like dogs, except for maybe cat people. But cat people love dogs too. There's always dogs in here. Yeah, it just kind of sets the tone for the place, I think.
Another way we really engage, especially young folks like yourselves, is through music. When I was younger, we would go camping for a weekend, or we'd go play football or baseball in the yard. And I see a lot of young people now, it's like many times their whole lives revolve around music, whether it's going to Lollapalooza and downloading the app and building their whole concert for the weekend. And we do a lot of these events all across the country just to engage young folks, because it's just a great demographic for us. People ask me, what is your demographic? Like, who are you trying to sell Tito's Handmade Vodka to? And my answer is always, if you've got a liver, we deliver. So we try to get to everybody. So you can see a lot of the different lists of the places that we're doing. Country Thunder here locally has become a huge event. I'll show you some stuff on that. But it really started with Austin City Limits and South by Southwest, down by the distillery. We do Lala, Pilgrimage, Outside Lands, Meadows Music. There's just a ton of events, and we've really gravitated towards that platform and had a really good time with it. This one gets you fired up a little if you have ever been to the event before. Makes me want to go. I was telling some of the guys up front, it's getting close to 3 o'clock, and in the spirits industry, 3 o'clock on a Friday, that's usually the witching hour, so I'm not going to run too long. Don't worry about it. How are we doing on time? 2:02. Okay, we're doing good. So I want to give you guys a sense. Wisconsin's one of the fastest growing states we have in the country. We're doing phenomenally well here. And, why is that? I want to show you guys sort of our local involvement and things that we're doing surrounding all of Wisconsin. I kind of want to talk about our team a little bit because I think it really is. There's an old saying I had in the spirit business, and it was, brands don't build people, people build brands. And that's very true with Titos Handmade Vodka. When I started, I was just one guy, so I've got like a team of 20-some people now that I was able to hand select over time. So that's me, Barland in the middle. Courtney, wave your hand back there. Where's Miss Nuss? Right there. Natalie, wave your hand. My lovely wife is right next to them, Carrie. And then the guy on the right, Matt Foster, he couldn't be here today, but I was trying to give him as an example of a distributor guy with Breakthrough. He completely dominates the Lake Geneva area. But these people put a lot of time into this brand. I mean, they're truly superstars in our industry. And I think when you're building something from scratch, if you don't have those people that are passionate about what they do and get up and are self-starters and want to do something with their lives every day, that it's going to be very difficult to build a brand like Titos from the ground up. Some of the traits I was trying to think for you guys, like, what do I think makes a great person out there as far as a salesperson or being a marketer or being involved with a spirit brand? And all these people, we all have, other than me not being young, I'm still aggressive, I'm still committed, but we have a lot of young people in our organization out of the millennial generation that are looking to do something really cool with their lives. We're very focused. We don't have flavors. I don't know if you've ever noticed that on the shelves. We've never had buttery waffle flavored vodka or jalapeno infused biscuits or anything like that. It's Titos. A lot of that stuff is, in my opinion, sugar water, and it gets to you after a while. So people come back to that good, clean buzz. So we try to do one thing well in this company. So we've been pretty singularly focused. We're not very corporate, regular people. I think that comes from Tito. You can see that he's a regular guy. So we try to stay true to ourselves out there. We're very event-oriented. We do a ton of events across the country. Had a lot of success in that area. And we're trying to be engaged in our community. We're trying to give something back. And I think that those are all quality traits for any business that you're in, but it's a little bit more rare in the spirits industry. So we're having a lot of fun with that. Just to give you guys an idea of some of the different events that we've done here in Wisconsin, we raise money for musicians on call at Country Thunder. You were able to, if you posted a picture next to the hashtag #LoveTitos sign and you posted it, then $1 automatically went to musicians on call. So we were raising money during the festival constantly with people taking pictures by the mural. The Milwaukee Art Museum will donate $1 to the museum for any cocktail you buy for the entire year. We've enlisted, some local celebs. We've tried to tie in with guys that are really meaningful to the state of Wisconsin. So Coach Guard, Andy North has won a U.S. Open. We've worked together with them to raise over $1 million for the Carbone Cancer Center. So that's been a great event for us. Courtney put this one together. Loved it. 5th annual women's flag football game. This is a huge charity that goes, every year. Courtney, where is this out of? In Madison. So, one day, 52 grand for the Alzheimer's Association, with matching funds. We're always trying to do that where, if we're donating money, time to local charity, we're looking to exponentially raise money with that charity as well by getting people to donate other funds so we can maximize it. Just a few comments, from being in the business for a long time. I saw the one guy from the Bucks doing a big receiving line here. If you're going to get a job in the spirits industry, you're probably better suited to go through the distributor network initially. That would be Breakthrough or Badger or Capital Houston, and try to get like an entry-level job there. A lot of the supplier jobs, the people that get those jobs, they have experience already on the distributor side. So I would go that route, or if you're really into bartending and you want to go that side of the fence, learning brands, making a whole network of people in that fashion. I've seen a lot of people come from that side of the fence over into our industry. We also have a national company that we work with, which is Next Level. So we do a lot of promotional programs where you're doing it event by event, so you can get your feet wet in the industry. But these jobs, I'm just trying to be honest with you, they don't grow on trees. I know you guys don't want to hear that as you're coming out of college and say, well, I guess there's no jobs available. There are, but you gotta pay your dues. People think, when they look at me, wow, this guy's got a rock star job. He's got a great job. There's a lot of work, I started off when I was 22 with a feather duster, with my little briefcase, with rebates, going around, cutting my fingers, building case displays. I don't want to give you the woe is me story, but making 18 grand a year was no treat, I can tell you that. This is probably one of the most important things I can tell you. Don't be afraid to fail. Tito had a lot of failed businesses out there. And I'm sure that you guys hear this a lot, but he used to tell me he would take all his business cards and he would crumple them up. All his failed businesses, he would crumple the business cards up and he would put them right on his lapel. And he would wear that as a badge of honor. And he would just say, that'll make me stronger. It'll make me better. I mean, to bring this company from where he did to be doing well now, he really knew nothing about the spirits industry going into it. He was all self-taught. He had to learn how to build the still by studying the old pictures of the Texas stills that were destroyed during Prohibition. I think if he'd have known it was going to be this much work, he probably wouldn't have done it. But, there's nothing wrong with failing in something if you put your best effort into it. I hear it from I had a review about a year ago with one of my employees, and she was saying, they had just started 4 months ago, and they were saying, I really don't think I'm making an impact. I'm enjoying my job, but I don't think I'm making an impact. And I was like, impact's a really big hill to climb. Initially when you come out, sometimes just doing your job and asking the right questions and getting a nice paycheck, that may be the only pat on the back you get. But don't become frustrated. If you're getting paid and nobody's causing problems and you're moving forward and you're moving up, that's making an impact. And as you grow into your role, things will get better. So I would say just try to be patient. And try to find some balance. I mean, that's really tough for me to say because I've been married, 23 years to my wife. We have 2 kids. I am a Warhawk. I write the check here. My son's sitting in the back, so go Warhawks. So I have a vested interest in this place. But, with all the travel and all the events and everything, you have to really find a balance between your family life and your work life. And that's not always easy to do. So I wanted to show you guys this one video because I thought it kind of sums up how Tito thinks about things. And then we'll open it up for questions and a few housekeeping issues. So if I could close with this one, boss.
I'm a geophysicist and geologist. The reality of things is that everything's made out of stardust. Here we are on the crust, which is very unique to be on the outside of the proverbial bowling ball. Here we are going 1.5 million miles an hour through the background radiation of the cosmos, right? And then we're spinning around at like 500 million miles an hour around the Milky Way galaxy. And then we're spinning around our star at, can't remember how fast. And then we're spinning around our axis. And then the whole time we sit there and we think that we're standing still. It makes me sit there and think, I'm the butterfly on the oak tree. I'm just here for this long, but I'm gonna get some stuff done. I'm gonna have some fun, help as many people as I can, spread some joy, spread some love. I mean, life is hard. Let's just concentrate on the good stuff. And as a geologist, time's a weird thing anyway. Once you start looking at life through this lens, it's all stardust, man. Cheers to 20.
And that's officially the end of the presentation, so thank you very much. We have a few housekeeping issues, so I wanted to tell you guys, what's the name of our spot tonight, Courtney? So at 8:41, if you're of age, we're going to be throwing a little happy hour over there. I know you guys have had a long couple of days of meetings, so we would be happy to tap into my consumer conversion budget. Maybe buy you guys a few drinks if you're of age and you can be there. That would be great. Somebody's going to look under their chair right now and win this fine guitar. So if you guys want to look, there's a bandana attached to your chair. Whoa. Somebody over here. There's my man right there.
Woo!
Come on up. Do you play the guitar by chance, or do you know somebody that does? Good. I'm going to take that. I'll card you later. I'm going to take that as a yes. Okay. Come on up and get it, man.
So he's done with his presentation. 30 minutes.
So this is a acoustic Gibson's guitar, and Tito signs all of them. Tito's rocks. So congratulations. What's your name?
Justin.
Justin Eric Barlin. Nice to meet you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Wear it well, my friend. All right. Okay, so I'm going to open it up for questions for you guys. How many minutes we got? I'm not going to go too long because I know you guys had a long
We got
day.
20, 25 minutes.
Okay. See if I can keep it alive for 20 minutes. Or if we end quickly, that's fine too. Go ahead.
So where do you guys have locations at?
Okay, so the still is in Austin, Texas. So it's all produced there. It's all distilled there. And the way the three-tiered system works in this country is we produce the vodka, we put it on trucks, and then we ship it to our distributors. And basically, they have a whole portfolio of brands. So basically, what we do is we make our margin on the brand, they make their margin on the brand, and then we'll go out with them, myself and my people, and we'll work with them on programming, distribution, inventory, and we're going out with them to the bars and the restaurants and the stores. We're trying to get bigger shelf displays. We're trying to get more facings on the shelf, just like they do in the grocery world. We're trying to get all the sizes in. You know, we only have one brand, so we want to make sure that we have all our full size distribution. And it changes a little bit when you get into control states, because some of the state governments will run that system. But still, it's basically the same premise that they have a big portfolio, we're selling our brand into them, and then we're trying to get as much time and attention out of them to pay attention to our brand so that we can compete with our competition. Does that answer your question? I'm out of Chicago, so I run along the muddy river. I go from Minnesota to Mississippi, and then I have the plain states, but Texas is like the motherland, so I don't have that in my region. So there's the east, the Texas region, the central, and the west, so that's us. Go ahead.
What has been your biggest challenge?
Keeping my weight down. My biggest challenge, I would say just transitioning from me being the guy that was trying to do everything, you know, whether it be sales or events, to somebody that's more being responsible for a team. We sort of try to foster a real team effort in the Central. And the fact that you have to give up getting that, you know, oh, I made the big sale today. Instead of, and now you say, hey, I'm really happy that that guy made the sale because I trained him or her. So there's a big transition from being the guy that goes out and does things to being the guy that manages things. And I would say I was much stronger initially on the sales side and had to learn how to manage people. Come on. No, that's sort of like, you can do that in Europe. Like there are areas where, like Diageo will own the trucks, they'll own the bar, they'll own the whole distribution system. That's like considered a conflict of interest here because you can't distribute to the bars and restaurants and then also own a brand. So that's not allowed federally. Right. Okay, go ahead.
I was wondering, you say you want to be true to this one original case in flavor. Have you ever thought about diversifying your products? And if so, what would that look like? How would you promote a new, maybe not vodka, maybe not a flavored vodka,
Right.
maybe if you wanted a Titos rum?
Yeah, it's a great question. Well, and believe me, we've thought about that before. I think Tito's handmade whiskey has a nice ring to it, you know, but we kind of juxtapose that versus if we do that, how much time and attention are we going to take off of something that we're really, really growing and growing? And I think down the road, you never know. I never say never. You know, he's a master distiller. He knows what he's doing. All right, and I know he's tinkered with these ideas before. I can say almost unequivocally that I doubt he would do flavors. And I think part of the reason is when we first started this, we had so many chefs and bartenders and mixologists picking up the brand and go, wow, this stuff's really smooth, you've got to try it. And people were like, oh, I don't know, Texas vodka? How can you make great vodka out of Texas? You know, but as they went down that road, these guys were the guys that were really champions of the brand. And they hate using anything that's unnaturally flavored. So they rarely, if they're going to add flavor to a cocktail, they're going to do it with another spirit, a flavoring of a regular spirit, or they'll use fresh herbs, fresh fruits. So if you go on our website, no, we don't have flavors, but you can be taught how to do like Titos infusions, you know, so you can go ahead and get your flavor that way. Personally, I like Tito's soda, lemon, good, maybe even Tito's water lemon, just because it's the cleanest way you can have a cocktail, in my opinion. Yeah.
As the business grows, how do you avoid developing a corporate culture?
That's a good question. I think you really have to stay true to the guy that you see in the videos. I think we just came off of our national sales meeting, and he keeps people very grounded. He keeps people loose. I also think that, you know, sometimes you just have to control what you can control. You know, I'm not always out there worrying about what the West or some of my counterparts is doing. I'm trying to run my business for him, and I have my family of people that I care about. You know, we do Christmas parties together. We do events together. We're together on weekends. It's a big sacrifice, but you get that sense of camaraderie by sort of giving up to the brand a little bit and going all in. And, you know, quite frankly, our families are very involved in it. You know, I've taken Gunnar and some of his buddies that are of age to Country Thunder. We've done a lot of good stuff together. So Tito's one of those guys where he says, like, I'll give you an example. So I'm really into horse racing. So I've done a lot with equine charities. And I was like, I'd really like to get involved with the Breeders' Cup. You know, I'd like to do more with the Kentucky Derby. I'd like to do some stuff at Saratoga. And he's like, hey, if that's your thing, then put a Tito's sticker on it, you know, and I'll support you. So as a human being, I think he keeps us very grounded. Anything else? Yes, sir. You know, I'm not really sure that it's a matter of growth of cases. I think it's more growth of people and being able to participate, you know, in philanthropy and charity. I think that's very important to him and very important to us. I don't see the brand itself changing that much. I think we've had a lot of success sort of staying true to our roots, and I expect that to continue. You know, I don't know how long that I'll be there. I've been there 9 years, but I hope in my lifetime there that it doesn't change because I like it just the way it is. There's one over here. Go ahead.
I guess my question would be, making a product so well liked and so highly rated on the vodka scale, I guess, how do you really keep it affordable? Because it's not really super expensive, but it's not really cheap, but
Yeah.
I think it's like in a good affordability category.
Again, I think that goes to ownership. He's never tried to gouge people with large price increases. We've kept our pricing relatively standard over the years. I think he always says, you know, this is steak vodka at a pot roast price. He wants more people to be able to try it. He wants to bring more people into the category and be able to try it. It's kind of like if you think about wine, when you go shopping wine or you're at a restaurant, the $80 bottle of wine, you may get a $40 bottle of wine that you think blows that one away. I think that sometimes, especially in the States, there's always this mentality that, well, if it's more expensive, it must be better. You know, I look at Grey Goose, a fine product. I don't bash brands, but they have to pay import taxes, you know, and they've got a really fancy bottle that's pretty expensive. I mean, if I'm drinking vodka, I don't want to, you know, make it into a potted plant to put on the windowsill. I want to drink the brand, you know. Okay. Go ahead, sir. In the car. I keep that locked for you guys. Yeah, you got to be careful in my garage sometimes, I'll tell you that. All right, a couple more. All right, I guess that wraps it up. I just want to thank you guys for your time. This is, again, like I said, it's a great opportunity to speak to a lot of young people. I'm not going to do the big receiving line. If you guys want to come over and talk about a little bit more about the business, if you don't feel that comfortable, we'll be over at the restaurant later for a few hours. So I really hope you guys have a great rest of the conference, and I hope you guys enjoyed this as much as I did. Thank you very much.